is Northland Neighborhoods. Nathan Scott, who's a Special Projects Coordinator, will present NNI's annual update. And then Director Tim Nebergall will do a presentation on the street maintenance plan for fiscal year 2027. I'm going to turn it over to Nathan now.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Scott. I work for Northland Neighborhoods Incorporated, and I prepared the annual report for the city of Gladstone tonight. I don't think this. Here's okay. Okay. Perfect.
Sorry.
You good? So this is from July 2025 to current. We completed 15 projects in the city of Gladstone this year. 7 were funded by the Clay County Senior Services Grant that we operate for the city, county of Clay County. And 8 others were funded by FHLB, which is the Federal Home Loan Bank, MHTF, which is Missouri Housing Trust Fund, and all of those projects were leveraged with funds either from Gladstone or Northland Neighborhoods Incorporated. Total project cost for this last year was $197,000, a little over, for all 15 of these projects. Almost $50,000 more than was invested last year in the city. We had 21 neighborhood meetings that we hosted at Northland Neighborhoods, attended by 457 people, with almost 10,000 newsletters printed for all the neighborhoods in Gladstone. The following are going to be pictures of some of these projects that we did. This was a $30,000 project, very extensive. It was their main sewage drain coming out of his house, connecting to the city pipes, was clogged. I think we also did a roof on this house, gutters, and some paint work. Almost, yeah, $29,000 project on that one. This was a Clay County Senior Services. This older lady had mobility issues. In this first picture, you could see the new flooring we added with a zero barrier flooring transition from kitchen to living room. Lady used a walker and was having hard times getting over that bump right there. And then also added a chair lift inside her house so she could access the basement. This was another $30,000 project we did in Gladstone. This is a family of 5. Husband was recently laid off in autumn of last year. He worked at biotech for KU Med Center and was the only income. They had 3 children. You see a lot of toys on that, but their deck was falling apart in that first picture. Kids could not play on it, could not access it at all. New roof. And then also their main sewage drain was also blocked from their house. You can see that concrete work in that final picture. These are some senior services as well. The first 2 pictures over there was 88-year-old lady who was embarrassed of her mailbox. There's some rust and a little bit of damage on it, but she contacted us because she wanted a new mailbox and put a fresh one up. $250 project, not very much at all. Clay County Services allows us to use up to $2,000 on any resident in Clay County, and they could use it not at once in multiple different projects throughout the year, just a running total. And then the second column of pictures is also some mobility issues, some grab bars added to that property. It's just a slide of our board of directors and our staff. I can answer any questions anyone might have.
Questions for Nathan? Yes.
So Nathan, can you explain how people apply for your assistance?
Sure. Typically, we would just get a phone call, or people actually still stop in. They could just apply through our application process, and then we verify their income. We use HUD income qualifications. This year, 80% and lower, which would be $76,200, would be the maximum qualifier, income you can qualify. These Missouri Housing Trust Funds require only 50% annual income, which drops it down to 44,600. So you would have to qualify either that or under to actually get services.
I just wanted to say thank you, Nathan, for all the work that Northland Neighborhoods does, especially the monthly meetings that you guys have, the monthly luncheons. So much good information is shared, and it's just a great meeting space. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Other comments, questions?
Mayor?
Councilman Smith,
Thank
yes.
you. So how does the expenditures in Gladstone this past year compare to years prior to this past year?
So we had a 50% increase last year, $50,000, 25%. I don't anticipate that being the same. We're losing federal funding and it finally catching up with us this year, especially the Federal Home Loan Bank. But we use the money we get from Gladstone to leverage other funds. So that money is being leveraged to 2, sometimes 3 times the money that's being invested in Gladstone.
That's going to be my next question. Your funding sources seem to be dwindling.
They do.
So I'm sure the board, especially since City Manager Bob Bear's on it, has some plan going forward for their next fiscal year.
Yeah, I would
do
hope
you-
so. We lost funding from Clay County, not the seniors fund, but just the commissioners in general last summer. And that also limited some money that we could spend in the county. The majority of our funding is through Kansas City, through community development block grants, and that has to be used in their city limits.
Thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
do a lot of great work for a lot of residents across the metro.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and next up will be Director Tim Nebergall, and he'll be talking about the fiscal year 27 road plan.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. This is kind of an annual rite of passage, I guess, as we head into summer, is the annual street maintenance program. So feel free to interrupt me with any questions. Some of this you've probably heard more than you would like, but some of the work that's been done, some of the things that you've funded has went a long way, as you'll see as we get into the presentation. So to start, the program is developed based upon pavement condition, available funding, and traffic volume. There's some other factors that play into that, but those are the primary key components that we use. I will admit that it's been a couple years since we've done a full rating of our streets. It's so staff dependent. There's such a huge time commitment. Typically in the past, we would do it during the winter time. It would take about 3 months to do every street in the city of Gladstone. So as we get to the end of the program, though, I'm gonna kind of throw an idea out there and then maybe try to follow it up with another presentation. So to begin with, city typically uses 3 maintenance techniques: intermediate maintenance, which is can be a number of different things, but in that instance, we're just trying to preserve the pavement. So crack seal, microsurface, slurry seal, that type of thing. The next is mill and overlay. That's where we remove the top 2 inches and replace it with new asphalt. And then, of course, the most costly is full depth replacement. We haven't done a whole lot of full depth replacement lately, which is a good thing. You don't want your pavements to get to that level. And so that's the most costly type of repair. So you'll see an exhibit here that kind of shows how that works. So there's a couple examples of intermediate maintenance. On my left there, that's a slurry seal. And then on my right is actually a crack seal. Again, it extends the pavement life and reduces long-term maintenance costs. Next, a couple pictures overlay. Again, removing the top 2 inches of asphalt restores the pavement surface, and it restores some of the structural integrity. And I say some because if you have a bad subgrade or the kind of the asphalt below isn't structurally sound, obviously that'll come back in a short period of time. So when we do overlay, we try to do full depth replacement as well. So when I say we're not doing full depth reconstruction, that means the full street. However, almost every project that we do, we actually budget in, and I don't know if I've ever said this before, up to 5% of the surface quantity of asphalt for full depth patches. So if you've ever seen a road that we overlay and you wonder, well, why does 2 days before do they go in and they put these weird boxes around certain areas of the pavement? We're cutting out failures and we're building that pavement back up. So we may not do a full road reconstruction, but we do lots of full depth pavement repair. And then next, like I said, we're not doing any full depth reconstruction, but this exhibit here kind of shows kind of the cost. So essentially, if you spend for every dollar you spend on intermediate maintenance, that saves you $5. If you don't, the longer you can preserve that payment. So it's almost like and this is held true every year that I've been with the city. It's almost a factor of 5. So if intermediate maintenance is $5 a square yard, mill and overlay is $25 a square yard, and then $125 a square yard for full depth reconstruction. Now, as you can expect, that obviously continues to decrease every year with inflation and the cost of oil and that type of thing. There's some kind of fluctuations there, but the factor of 5 rule has continued to kind of apply. So I like to show that just to show that if we can keep it in the intermediate maintenance category or in the mill and overlay category, just how much money we're saving if we don't allow that payment to get to the need to completely reconstruct it. I think and if you look at how much work's been done over the last 3 years, well, I'll start with fiscal year 25 and 26, 35 lane miles of overlay and 15 lane miles of intermediate maintenance. So we've touched 1/5 of our city. I'm not going to sit here and say that there aren't potholes out there. I always qualify this statement based upon that. I know there's more work to be done, but it shows the city has made a huge investment in its transportation network. So in fiscal year 25 and 26, we spent a total of about $4 million to do that work. And then in fiscal year 27, we're looking at 7 lane miles of overlay, 8 miles of intermediate maintenance for a total of 15 lane miles of work and a $1 million investment. And you may ask, unfortunately, the last 2 years, the council has kind of rerouted some savings from the general fund to the street maintenance program. That's been about $750,000 for the last 2 years. That's been fantastic, although obviously we can't count on that forever. We just thank you for doing that for us. And then also too, the city has some big road projects on the horizon that aren't even in these numbers. One would be the North Oak project, which will start next year, that goes from 69th to 72nd Street. That'll include a hybrid roundabout, some median work, some access management type improvements, and then all new asphalt pavement. So that's part of that project. So that kind of adds to this number of lane miles. And then Old Antioch Road from about 68th Terrace to 72nd Street is going to get an upgrade as well. So some big projects on the horizon, which add to that $1 million number. So here you see a map. I know it's difficult to see, but the red essentially shows the mill and overlay locations. The green shows the intermediate maintenance. This year, I think we're going to really try to focus on crack sealing. We've done a lot of microservice the last couple of years, and now we want to try to get in and get as many of our kind of major collectors as we can and kind of complete the major street network. Another project, and I haven't really touched on, is we touched on it in goal setting, is Northeast 72nd Street between M1 and the East City limits. If you've driven that recently, it's gotten a little rough. That's a project that we want to present to the Gladstone Special Road District. A couple things we want to do with that. One is potentially a road diet. So that's why I've kind of provided that exhibit there, potentially looking at going to a 3-lane roadway for traffic calming, provide some bicycle facilities, that type of thing. And then the other thing we're currently evaluating too is painting the handrails on top of some of those retaining walls. Those were installed 25, 30 years ago, starting to show their age, lots of rust. I do not have all the numbers yet, but we're going to try to get all that as part of this project and really improve that segment of road and then tie into the improvements that we're planning on Old Antioch Road from 68th Street to 72nd Street. One of the things I touched on that earlier in the presentation, but I want to bring up is a lot of cities are moving to contractual pavement condition assessment. So instead of doing the work in-house, they're actually hiring companies to do this work. They go out with a roadway asset collection vehicle. It's all automated. They bring that data in. So there's a picture of a potential vehicle up on the screen, and then below it, Those are different types of imperfections in the road, one being cracks, there's a manhole in that picture, some alligator cracking, that type of thing. And it's actually a lot more extensive evaluation than what we could do as staff. So if staff was doing it, I could go out, I could evaluate the roadway. That could be different than if the mayor went out and evaluated a roadway. Now, not huge differences, but what you're doing is you're evaluating the imperfection, and then that is put into a model, and of course, it creates a rating. If we were to put that out and have a contractor do it, most cities are not doing it yearly now. They're doing it somewhere between 2 to 4 years, just because the data is still valuable every couple years. Once you get out to about 4 years, you're probably too far out, and you really need to take a hard look at your pavement and how much it's changed over that time frame. But there's a lot of things you can do with this. It's actually pretty amazing. You can take, in addition to pavement condition analysis, you can use it for kind of your asset inventory, fire hydrants, water valves, sidewalks, curbs. A lot of that information we already have, but those are the things that you can do with this technology. You can do things like each imperfection is tied to a picture. So if we want to look at the impact to cul-de-sacs from trash trucks, we could actually pull up a intersection and show, hey, this is the impact, instead of, hey, have you seen this? And have you seen this culvert? What I keep saying culvert. Have you seen this cul-de-sac? This is the impact. And if we do it over a couple years, 2, 4 years, we can actually see that data and show people like, hey, this is the impact of this type of vehicle, or this is what we're seeing on this type of road. And we can actually kind of start creating a game plan to address those types of things. So it's obviously not cheap. We've got a couple estimates in the neighborhood of, and they're in the neighborhood of $65,000. So it's something that I think we need to discuss a little bit further. I would like to bring it as a future study session item just to kind of show you what kind of data is available. We could even do it on our parking lots if we wanted to, city-owned parking lots, that type of thing. So just an example of technology that's out there and what other cities are using to kind of stay ahead of the game. So anyway, they can also use that information to help us put our program together based upon our dollar figure. I'm not as excited about that just because having done it for 20 years, there's so many factors. Like I kind of list 3 of them that go into putting the street maintenance program together. Ratings is obviously first and foremost, but traffic volumes, geographic location, in Gladstone, I hear it all the time, you spend all the money over there. That's not the case. Actually, when we put our street maintenance program together, we are looking at the entire city to make sure that we aren't just putting it in one location. And sometimes that may not be the most economical decision, but when you have 9 square miles and 27,000 tax-paying residents, to me, it's probably the most fair way to do it. So, and that's how we put the program together. So anyway, just something kind of cool that's out there and that I would like to bring forward to you at some point in time. And then with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Director Nebergall? Councilman Small.
Well, I greatly support the pavement assessment process. I just had one completed at my own work in the past year, and it's allowed us to create a 5-year plan that's completely objective. And it's rated all of our parking lots and all of our park roads, and it's just made a huge difference in being able to go in front of a legislature or a city council with that type of information compared to, this is my own assessment. So I would really support you in that, Tim. Thank you.
Tim, you mentioned it might take 3 months for staff to do this assessment. What's kind of the time frame if we went with this other system? Because I support it too. It seems like a really good use of
I'll tell you,
resources.
the analysis probably takes Councilmember Spallo, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
could probably give you a better time frame. I think in 3 months, I mean, we would have the data, we would have the plan, and be able to present it. And I've kind of been focused on next year at this
Right.
point because we put this one together. But I mean, if we had everything put together by the I'd say by the end of this calendar year, I mean, we'd be ready to go for next fiscal year. That helps us through our budget programming. When we meet with city council, we meet with public improvements or capital improvements. Just to have that data would be so helpful. And then to just kind of remove the staff commitment. I mean, when I say 3 months, I mean, that is going out on the street, driving the streets with a laptop computer and saying, okay, I see this kind of defect from here to here to here. We're fortunate enough that folks before me kind of started that process, which actually will help reduce the cost if we were to go to a consultant because the framework's there. We have the base system, we have the streets, we have the street segments. We just have to provide that information and then they take it and they populate it. So,
There are different companies that do this.
there are many, many different
Okay.
companies that do it. The one that I showed a picture of, not picking them, they're roadway asset managers. I don't remember, roadway asset specialists. And the reason why I reached out to them initially was because they have Kansas City's contract right now and they have a piggyback provision. I know Jackson County is using somebody else.
IMS.
IMS, yeah, there is several different companies that provide this service now.
Other questions, comments?
Yeah, Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Can you go back real quick, and you don't even need to, but the mill and overlay, it seems like it's 5 times less than the actual full replacement. Is it also, the lifespan, or can you do it 5 times before you would need to replace it, or can you just continue to mill and?
I would say you can't do it 5 times, but you can certainly do it, 2 or 3 times. And if you continue to manage that pavement, essentially what you're trying to do is you want to keep that subgrade, like that base asphalt, like from deteriorating.
Sure.
As long as it doesn't deteriorate, as long as the ground underneath it doesn't deteriorate, you can continue to mill and overlay. To say that it's 5 times, I wouldn't say that. But I also couldn't say that if you do a full depth replacement, that you're not going to have to, then you jump into the mill and overlay category where, every 5 to 7 years, you're doing intermediate maintenance, and every 12 to 15, you're doing an overlay. So it's just, what makes it so much expensive is to give you an example. So a 2-inch overlay, 2 inches. Typical residential street, you're removing 8 inches of asphalt. And then if you're going to remove 8 inches of asphalt, you're going to do something with the dirt underneath. So typically you're doing some kind of fly ash stabilization, something like that to make those soils so they don't hold water, so they're not as expansive. And then or you could rock it. There's a lot of things you can do, but there are just so many other costs that go into it once you do that full depth removal that the costs just continue to go up.
Helps.
Other questions, comments? Thanks, Tim, very, very much. Appreciate all the work your department does. We have about 7 minutes before we start the council meeting.
I didn't want to turn it off.
We'll call to order the Monday, June 22nd meeting of Gladstone City Council, and it's a pleasure to welcome all of you here with us tonight. Madam Clerk, please note that all council members are present. Will you rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4 is the approval of the agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to make a change to the agenda this evening? Seeing none, the agenda will stand as presented. Number 5 is the approval of the June 8, 2026 closed City Council meeting minutes.
Mayor Moore,
Councilman Smith.
move we approve the minutes of the June 8, 2026 closed city council meeting.
Second.
A motion's been made and seconded 2 times to approve the closed city council meeting minutes of June 8, 2026. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those minutes are approved. Item number 6 is the approval of the June 8, 2026 regular city council meeting minutes.
Mayor Moore,
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
I move for the approval of the June 8th, 2026 regular city council meetings.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded again 2 times to approve the regular city council meeting minutes of June 8, 2026. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those minutes are approved. Item number 7 is a proclamation for Parks and Recreation Month.
I'm just moving the podium.
Jordan, are you?
I know. Aren't they good?
Okay. This is for National Parks and Recreation Month. Whereas park and recreation activities enhance the physical health and mental well-being of individuals, workforces, and communities. And whereas participation in recreation programs builds self-esteem and provides positive and constructive alternatives to antisocial behavior. And whereas parks and recreation opportunities and open spaces enhance the desirability of communities as locations for business, industry, and residential housing. And whereas parks and recreation stimulates tourism revenues and the economic development of communities. And whereas parks and open spaces are vital to the appearance and livability of communities, protect our air and water, and balance our ecosystem. Now, therefore, I, Jean B. Moore, Mayor of the City of Gladstone, Missouri, on behalf of the members of the Gladstone City Council and all Gladstone residents, do hereby proclaim July 2026 as National Parks and Recreation Month in Gladstone and urge all residents of this community to join with citizens of other communities throughout this great state in recognizing that parks and recreation services are essential to the quality of life not only in the month of July, but all through the year. I would like to say that I think one of Gladstone's finest treasures is our parks. And as we recognize the importance of parks and the value that we place on parks, I think it's equally important that we recognize all of those individuals behind the scenes that make our parks safe and welcoming spaces for our community and our visitors. Special thanks to you, Jordan, our Parks and Rec staff, on all the crews that make our parks so beautiful and safe. And it's not just the parks themselves, which are our treasure, but it's also everybody behind the scenes who make them work and make them possible. So thank you.
Oh, did the microphone catch that? Yes, no, very, very
grateful and thankful just to our mayor and all the leaders that support our parks. This year for Parks Month nationally, the theme is the power of, and parks really do have the power of helping a community grow, helping a community stay healthy, and we understand that here in Gladstone, and we're really excited about the different programs and activities, including and how fitting for us to have Freedom Fest
Exactly.
this year in the month of July. And so we're just pleased and grateful and see you all in Parks and Rec Month.
Item number 8 is communications from the audience. This is a time during every council meeting when we invite members of the public to come before the council for any message they would like to give us. Is there anyone who wishes to speak this evening? Mr. Oldebecken, nice to see you.
Thank you, Mayor Moore. My name is Jim Oldebeck, and I live at 400 Northeast 76 Terrace. In 2024, I had the honor of attending America 250's convening of states and partners in Philadelphia. It was more than a meeting, it was inspiring. We gathered in Carpenter's Hall where the First Continental Congress met exactly 250 years ago to the day after that historic meeting. As we listened to national and state leaders describe their vision for the 250th commemoration, one word stood out above all others. That word was legacy. Legacy means using this historic milestone to reflect on our nation's past, honor the contributions of all Americans, and look ahead toward the future we want to create for the next generation. Or to put it more simply, legacy is what remains after the fireworks. I believe the 250 Citizen Challenge hits that legacy target right in the center. Through this challenge, we have inspired approximately 165 citizens, 2/3 of them students, to take real actions of good citizenship. They read the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. They attended public meetings, wrote letters to elected leaders, sent thank yous to public servants, learned why voting matters, visited historic sites, and they studied and passed the United States citizenship test. That is not merely a program, that is formation. That is legacy. The most powerful evidence came from students themselves, including 96 first graders from Shoal Creek Elementary, who earned their Citizen Challenge coins by doing things many adults don't get around to. That should encourage us. It should also challenge us because legacies do not build themselves. They are built by people, especially volunteers, who understand the power of the word we in the phrase we the people. So now as we approach July 4th, we face an important decision. Do we stop here or do we continue, strengthen, and expand what is already proven successful? I believe we should continue. The hardest work has already been done. The challenge has been created, it has been tested, it has reached students, it has reached adults, and it's worked. Now we need to carry it farther into more schools, more civic organizations, neighborhoods, public meetings, and most importantly, in person-to-person conversations. Gladstone has done a great deal through the challenge, and most especially now in preparing for this big event, Freedom Fest. I could not be more grateful. But tonight I ask you to stay with us after the 4th to help us expand the challenge and make this Gladstone's and Clay County's most important legacy from the 250th, a legacy measured by an ever-increasing number of citizens who read, participate, serve, learn, speak up, and carry forward the promise of self-government. And it wouldn't rule out the possibility of it expanding to other areas in the nation. That is a kind of legacy worthy of the 250th and the sacrifices of so many. Thank you for listening, and most of all, for your direct help in making the challenges the success it has become. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you for your leadership for this great effort. We appreciate it. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak before the council this evening? Seeing none, we will move to communications from the city council. We'll start with Councilman Nave.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to just give a nice shout out to Juneteenth this year. If you have the day off, I hope that you were able to spend it with loved ones or friends doing something that you're passionate about. There were several events happening around the metro just in recognition of Jubilee Day. So I just hope that you were able to take a few minutes to enjoy some of those. I also wanted to let everyone know that the e-bike ordinance is now on the city's website. We have a special link just for this. It is gladstone.mo.us/police/e-bikes. So there's a full outline of what the actual ordinance is, as well as a few other educational pieces there, including the definitions of type 1, type 2, and type 3 e-bikes. I encourage everyone to take a look at that, if not for your own well-being, then for the safety of our community. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilman Smith.
Mayor Moore, thank you. I'd just like to remind everyone that Sounds on the Square returns to Linden Square on Friday, July 10th, with Brass Rewind taking the stage at 7 p.m. Come and enjoy some free music as they cover Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and more. Those are names that we recognize.
Yes, exactly.
So I invite you to come enjoy Sounds on the Square starting on the 10th.
Thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Spallo.
Well, I think it's very appropriate that we are celebrating Parks and Rec Month in the month of July when we're getting ready to host the 39th year of Gladstone Theater in the Park. We'd like to invite everyone out this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The production of The Addams Family starts at 8:30 each night. And, we welcome everyone to bring their blankets and chairs and come out and enjoy the show. I know that the cast has been working very hard on the production and would appreciate as many people out as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. One final reminder for Gladstone Freedom Fest will take place on July 4th as the city celebrates America's 250th anniversary with performances by Montgomery Gentry, featuring Andrew Montgomery, the Elders, and much, much more. We've got to have family-friendly events, largest fireworks displaying Gladstone history. You can find the full event at gladstonefreedomfest.com. I'm getting a little dizzy right now. But no, one more thing. That's, we do have 6 more spots available for the ice cream eating contest. We do need someone to take on the leading favorite. Councilman Cameron Nave right now is leading to take that on, so we got to take the belt from him. So we need 6 more people for that. That's all I have.
What time's that start?
The ice cream eating contest is going to start, I believe, right at 8 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Right before Montgomery Gentry. Got to get it down.
Thank you. I wanted to say a special thank you to Councilman Nave and Councilmember Spallo for joining me on the stage at the FIFA World Cup event on Saturday night. It really meant a lot to me that you all were there and shared the stage, and we all got a little piece of the action, so I appreciate that. And sorry that you two gentlemen were not able to be there with us, but we understand. There are so many people, we have so many events in Gladstone, so much that we are celebrating all the time. And it just looks seamless. These events just happen. Here we go, another success. And they don't just happen. I mean, the FIFA event took months and months and months and months of planning. And I thanked everybody. We thanked everybody on Saturday night, but my philosophy is there's not enough thank yous in the world ever. And so I just want to give a special shout out again to the city's park and recreation staff, to Jordan, to Linda, to Andy, to all of those people who spent 15-hour days working their tail ends off for that event. The parks and public works crews, and special kudos to Charlie for making the park look so beautiful, to the police and fire departments for being there the whole time, Antioch Bible Baptist Church knocked it out of the park with the Kids Zone. The Gladstone Chamber hosted the beer garden, and all of our great vendors who were there, and everybody who just was there for the event. I think the number that seems to be floating around now is about 850 attendees for our event. So maybe it's not 10,000, but we're really, really proud of the fact that we had that many people there. It was a long day, full with lots of activities. And so I just want to thank everybody who attended and everybody who worked so, so hard to make this event a success. Okay. Anything else from anybody? Mr. City Manager, we'll turn it to you.
Well, you're a hard act to follow, but I was going to reiterate the same thing. Is I've never seen those parks look better. Happy Rock East or Happy Rock West, and you know, I watch each department day to day operate independently, but there's very few times here a year when I can watch everybody just mesh together to get something done. And so I sat out there at the FIFA watch party, and the numbers may not have been what we had hoped or were promised to us. You know, when World Cup was being talked about. But I was so proud to sit there and see the condition of the parks, the setup, the preparation that went on. So I'm gonna name names. First of all, Assistant City Manager Austin Greer has been the parks bulldog. He's out there making sure, you know, this line gets painted, this mulch gets changed out. Parks Director Jordan Brown, I can't thank him enough. And I don't know how Linda Borders, the Assistant Parks Director, has time to take care of the event center construction and planning. And then on top of that, step in and take on something like this. Park Superintendent Charlie Miles, outstanding. I can't say enough. I texted him twice now, just saying in disbelief. The parks have never looked so well. He has a good crew of Ryan, Madison, Benny, Devin, Eli, and Logan. Chief Desitel and Chief Ferris, both having their departments out there and functioning. Public Works Director Tim Nebergall, Finance Director Matt Dayton, who makes sure we have the finances to put stuff on like that. HR Administrator Amanda Wheeler, chasing insurance all over the place, you know, making sure we're protected. And then finally, Communications Specialist Nikki Lansford does an awesome job of promoting these things and getting stuff out on Facebook. So I just wanted to formally name everybody I know that had a hand in it, and I probably forgot some, but they're not forgotten for sure. Finally, city offices will be closed Friday, July 3rd in observance of Independence Day, and that's our rest day before the big Freedom Fest blowout on Saturday the 4th. So business hours will resume in City Hall Monday, July 6th. That's all.
Thank you. We'll move to item number 12, the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, will you please explain and read the consent agenda?
A consent agenda allows the City Council to consider and approve routine items of business without discussion. Any member of the City Council, the city staff, or the public may request removal of any item from the consent agenda and request that it be considered under the regular agenda if discussion or debate of the item is desired. Items not removed from the consent agenda will stand approved upon motion by any council member, second and unanimous vote to approve the consent agenda as published or modified. Consent agenda. Consider special event permits. Kids Fest Cutie Pie Try, Linden Square, Saturday, July 25, 2026, 8 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Movies in the Square, Linden Square, Saturday, July 25, 2026, and August 15, 2026, 7 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Whiskey Fest, Linden Square, Saturday, October 10, 2026, 4 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Resolution R-26-33, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Gallagher in the total amount of $30,014.81 for cyber liability coverage for the 2027 fiscal year. Resolution R-26-34, a resolution accepting right-of-way and easements from certain property owners in conjunction with the North Oak Trafficway Road Construction Project TP 2371. Resolution R-26-35, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement between the City of Gladstone, Missouri and Northland Neighborhoods Incorporated for consulting services to support neighborhood development and revitalization from July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience, council or staff who wishes an item to be removed from the consent agenda for discussion? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Moore,
Councilmember Spallo.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is approved. We'll move to the regular agenda. Item number 12 is first reading of Bill number 26-19, an ordinance amending Section 6.110.0100 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri regarding water service rates in the city.
Mayor Moore.
Councilman Smith.
Move to place bill number 26-19 on its first reading.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to place Bill number 26-19 on its first reading. Is there any discussion? All in favor of placing Bill number 26-19 on its first reading, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Madam Clerk, please read the bill.
First reading bill number 26-19, an ordinance amending section 6.110.100 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri regarding water service rates in the city.
Mayor Moore.
Councilman Smith.
Move we accept the first reading of bill number 26-19, waive the rule, and place the bill on its second and final reading.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to accept the first reading of Bill number 26-19, waive the rule, and place the bill on its second and final reading. Is there any discussion? All in favor of placing Bill number 26-19 on its second reading, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Madam Clerk, please read the bill.
Second reading bill number 26-19, an ordinance amending section 6.110.100 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri regarding water service rates in the city.
Mayor Moore.
Councilman Smith.
Move we accept the second and final reading, bill number 26-19, and enacted as ordinance number 4.736.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill number 26-19 and enact the bill as ordinance number 4.736. Is there any discussion? I would just say that this bill and number 13 are bills that we pass every year that nobody really wants to pass, so.
True story.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Nave?
Aye.
Councilman Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Spallo?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Moore?
Aye. Bill number 26-19 stands enacted as ordinance number 4.736. Item number 13, first reading, Bill number 26-20, an
Mayor Moore.
ordinance amending Section 6.110.570 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri, levying sewer service charges and commodity rate charges in the city.
Mayor Moore.
Councilman Nave.
I move to place bill number 26-20 on its first reading.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to place Bill number 26-20 on its first reading. Is there any discussion? All in favor of placing Bill number 26-20 on its first reading, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Madam Clerk, please read the bill.
First reading bill number 26-20, an ordinance amending section 6.110.570 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri, levying sewer service charges and commodity rate charges in the city.
Mayor Moore.
Councilman Nave.
I move to accept the first reading of bill number 26-20, waive the rule, and put the bill on its second and final reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the first reading of Bill number 26-20, waive the rule, and place the bill on its second and final reading. Is there any discussion? All in favor of placing Bill number 26-20 on its second reading, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Madam Clerk, please read the bill.
Second reading bill number 26-20, an ordinance amending section 6.110.570 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri, levying sewer service charges and commodity rate charges in the city.
Mayor Moore.
Councilman Nave.
I move to accept the second and final reading of bill number 26-20 and enact the bill as ordinance number 4.737.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the second reading of Bill number 26-20 and enacted as ordinance 4.737. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Nave,
Aye.
Councilman Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Spalo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Bill number 26-20 has been enacted as ordinance 4.737. Move to item number 14, which is resolution number R-26-36, a resolution adopting the 2027 annual operating budget for the city of Gladstone, Missouri, and authorizing the expenditure of funds for municipal services.
Mayor Moore.
Councilman Smith.
Move for the adoption of Resolution R-26-36.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R-26-36. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Resolution R-26-36 is adopted. Item number 15, Resolution R-26-37, a resolution authorizing change order number 1 in the amount of $278,787.25 to the contract with Centric Construction Group, LLC, for the Event Center at the Atkins Johnson Farm Project, CP 2454.
Mayor Moore.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
I move for the adoption of Resolution R-26-37 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R-26-37. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution R-26-37 is adopted. Item number 16, Resolution R-26-38, a resolution authorizing change order number 6 in the amount of $250,000 to the contract with Fleshman Construction Incorporated for the Northeast 76th Terrace Storm Drainage and Parking Improvements Project, CP 2531.
Mayor Moore.
Councilmember Spalo.
I move for the approval of Resolution R-26-38.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution R-26-38. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution R-26-38 is adopted. Item number 17, Resolution R-26-39, a resolution authorizing change order number 9 in the amount of $300,000 to the contract with Landtel Communication Services Incorporated for the FY25 Curb, Gutter, and Sidewalk Program, Phase 1, Project TP 2505.
Mayor Moore.
Councilman Smith.
Move for the adoption of Resolution number R-26-39.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R-26-39. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution R-26-39 is adopted. Item number 18, Resolution R-26-40, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Metro Asphalt Incorporated in the total amount not to exceed $681,356 for the FY27 Mill and Overlay Program Project, TP 2706.
Mayor Moore.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
I move for the adoption of Resolution R-26-40 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R-26-40. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed? Resolution R-26-40 is adopted. Number 19, is there other business to be brought before the council this evening? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Good meeting, Mayor. Good meeting.